Hey all, I'd like to go ahead and apologize in advance for the terrible audio quality. We have taken steps to fix it in episode 2, so you'll just have to bear with us. But thank you for watching.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Dicey Decisions, where we roll dice, spin stories, and apparently forget to hit the record button.
I was being such a good... How dare you? 69! There we go. Kid.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
That's tip.
We're just gonna do this again. I'm Mike. I'm the Dungeon Master. I'm suffering.
Aren't we all then?
Kit is here.
I'm Kit. I'm a non-binary, and
Oh, yeah,
I've been awake too long.
yeah, I guess we should just go ahead and give pronouns. I prefer he, him.
I prefer they, them.
Okay.
I'm Kit. Again.
Thank you,
And,
Kit.
yeah. I've been awake too long.
Poor Kit. The side Kit is Tip. This is gonna be fun. Tip. I go by she, her, and I'm gay. Still figuring things out. Probably lesbian. We'll see.
Your mom in the next room.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. And I'm currently looking at my profile that says 1 hour played, which really goes to show how new to D&D I am.
I only have 16.
Nice.
I have about 130.
Wow, what a nerd.
I spend a lot of time making maps, okay? Carly.
Hi, I'm Carly. I'm married to the DM.
Your advantage.
She might be regretting that decision as we speak.
I use she, her. I am in a very echoey room because we just moved into our new place today. So the audio quality will not be shit next time, but
Hopefully.
it is shit today. Yes.
I made my dice look like a penis.
Well done.
Good job.
Wow.
Well, okay, so without further ado, I guess we should, actually start the campaign thing, shouldn't we?
I guess so.
Alright, let's do it. I have a very short intro sequence, so you guys have 5 seconds to get all of your jitters out. Ready, and go. So, as we begin the story, I have a fuck ton of exposition, so we're just going to jump right into it. Somewhere, at the apex of the elements, there is a converging of worlds. The flame, aqua, stone, bright, wind, and void realms all connect to create a mundane realm not too unlike our own, with stars and planets and people just trying to get by. The continent of Bec-en-Vel, the known world, is bordered at the west and south by the Grand Ocean. To the frozen north is the Great Ice, a glacier so inhospitable even the northern warrior tribes of Frostburn don't dare go that far. Finally, the east is dominated by the nearly impassable World Spine, a mountain range that stretches from the farthest northern reaches to beyond the Weed Marshes in the south. And out of knowledge. A map of Bec-en-Vel may seem incomplete, and for good reason. People don't travel far outside their hometowns or establish trade routes anymore. More than 2 centuries ago, a conflict known as the War of Kings ravaged the known world, and only ended 100 years prior to this breaching. What began as simple squabbling between the human kingdoms of the Northlands became something far worse. A civil war erupted amongst the dragon clans, and their own infighting broke out into the world of men and dwarves. The elves retreated to their island nation of Sealater, while the kingdoms of the north and the clans of the Southlands fought this mutual threat. The fighting even reached the equatorial mist kingdoms, but after over 200 breachings, dragons were wiped from the face of the world. And their kin, the Dragalian, that fought alongside or even at times against the draconic threat, were reduced in such number that there are no nations for their kind. Dragonborn, as the Dragalian are known, are reduced to that of the deviling or tiefling spawn, only able to get the lowest of jobs, mercenaries, dock workers, or manual laborers. But now, Beconville is in a time of rebuilding, just barely getting to its feet, recovering from the loss of one great race and the dwindling of many others. The time is ripe for a new strife to take the land. And so it should come as no surprise that 12 days ago, on the eve of the new breaching, a star fell from the sky, trailing rainbow colors that danced and sparkled in its wake, and landed far in the east. Beconville mythos is full of tales of fallen stars and the wishes they grant to those that retrieve them. And when one such potential opportunity presents itself to a land where one does not stray too far from their doorstep, there are a select few who are just crazy enough to take that chance. Which brings us to today. A bright morning in the landlocked city of Dagdaral, once created by dwarvenkind and now home to the Paladins of Justine, the religious oligarchy of the King of Dagduria. Today is the Shine Scale Festival, celebrating a great victory many years ago against a powerful draconic army that nearly wiped the city from its map. The sun is bright on this morning, the day brightened even more by the massive glowing orb that circles the skies above the city, referred to by locals as the Eye of Justine. The morning light sparkles off of tassels and confetti in the street, reflecting into the eyes of a young human woman who stares out the window in excitement.
Isn't me.
Not a woman.
Katrina, could you please describe yourself?
My name is Katrina. I am quite short, although I don't like people mentioning it. I have
face.
reddish brown hair and stormy gray eyes, and just a little bit of freckles over my nose that I also don't like people mentioning. My hair is about shoulder length, which I today have pulled up into a sort of top knot, revealing that I have shaved the bottom part of my head.
The chin part?
Are we going to fight this early, dear?
I apologize. Katrina, you are, oh, I'm sorry, are you done? What are you wearing?
I got lots of muscles.
You're cut? You're muscly? What are you wearing?
She's hot.
Ooh.
Well, today I am wearing a dress of purple fabric.
She hates that.
I don't really like wearing dresses, but since I've been traveling for such a long time, I stink to high heaven, and this was the only change of clothes that I had.
All right. You are currently looking out the window, just breathing in the morning air, and watching the beginnings of a procession in the streets below, celebrating the festivities and all that stuff. You hear the rustling of your waking ally with whom you shared the room last night. In the second bed, just a few feet to your right, lays another human, significantly darker skinned than yourself. Helga, if you could please describe yourself as you awaken.
I'm Helga. I'm much bigger than the little one, and I like bears. I wear bears. I feel bear. That sounds weird. I'm dressed in the bear furs. Except lately, I've been kind of stripping down to my under things because it's just been too hot.
Would you call it your underbear?
My underbear. First bear pun of
The campaign.
But not the last.
Not.
Everyone takes 1d6 psychic damage from that pun.
Oh,
No.
I can take it.
I can.
So yes, Katrina, as you... Yes?
I cannot read.
Okay. All right, that might come into play sometime soon. So, Katrina, your much taller companion, the two of you awaken, and there's festivities outside. I now actually leave the role-playing up to you. I'm gonna stop. This is the part where I start to take my hands off for a little bit.
Are you going to introduce our other traveling companions?
Yeah.
They're not in the room.
We should go check on them. Or go find them. Go find our dads.
All right, go find your dads. You get dressed, you get prepared for the day. What are you bringing with you? All your stuff, or are you leaving anything in the room?
Old stuff. I don't think we're coming back, no? We're checking out. Are we checking out today?
Are we? How long were we planning on staying here? We hadn't really discussed it.
I don't know. Let's go ask Oran.
Okay.
All right, so as you open the door, you, Helga, you nearly step on Oran, who was in the process of getting ready to knock on your door. You see this very, very diminutive elf man, dark reddish-brown skin, these almost lilac purple eyes, and this just straw yellow hair. He's a very colorful individual, very, very warm palette, wearing kind of mostly browns, but he has a nice green vest on over everything, and on his back is strung a backpack and a lute. And he looks up. Oh, hello. Good morning.
Hey, are we checking out today, or are we with us? Like everything already on her back, like ready to go.
Well, we could find somewhere nicer to stay. The kind of the plan was for us to, get a new boat, preferably, or maybe hitch a ride with a caravan. We need money for that. So,
Didn't you say that we were going to visit a friend of yours as well?
Yes, we wanted to visit our friends. Fuck, what's her name? Artur. I'm so sorry. I haven't had anything to eat this morning. I'm very tired. Artur, our old friend. What was that?
Remind me the name.
The Artur is their name. Yes. Oren he comes out of a strange trance and where he kind of disconnected from the world for a moment. And he comes back, our friend Artur. We were just trying to stop by and say hi to her while we were in town, just something nice like that. I think Urk went down to get some food. Were you hungry? All right, let's go get some food. Morning, Katrina. And he leans around Helga's around Helga's massive frame to wave at you.
Helga just starts going downstairs with all her stuff.
Did you get back to sleep?
Oh, it was fine. It was nice to sleep in a bed for once.
Yeah, it was exciting first experience.
You've never slept in a bed before?
Is Pile of Siblings bed?
In some countries. So you all go. Down to get a nice breakfast. You meet up with Gerg, Oren's partner in crime and in life.
My other dad.
Yes, your other dad. Gerg is a large, almost as tall as you, actually. Large half-orc gentleman, shaved head. Honestly, he's very Mark Ruffalo-esque.
Yeah.
But bald and, green. And he wears he just wears a nice baggy like shirt and pants and some good old leather boots, and he just looks like a good old guy, and he's got those familiar at least metallic arms. It almost looks like his arms are like just covered in full plate. So you go down, you meet up with your 3 other companions. After you get a quick breakfast, you run outside to try and catch a look at the parade going by. And however, you find your way across the street blocked by this parade that is now in full procession. The other side of the way is lined with humans, young and old. And Katrina, with your passive perception, you actually notice a small creature standing on the edge on the other side, about the height of a child. Not much shorter than you, actually.
Excuse you.
Soot. You have been watching this parade very excitedly since it started, and this festival sprung up around you almost out of nowhere. You've never seen a celebration this big, and you can't imagine what it could be for. The first float that passes you, a cart pulled by 2 very large horses, like Clydesdale size. Oh, we cut out again? Tit munch.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard me? Okay.
Talking about horses.
Okay, the Clydesdales. Let me see. The first float has 7 young human men and women throwing red and gold beads out in the audience, like straight out of Mardi Gras.
Oh, I was going to say, it's Mardi Gras.
One gentleman in particular seems very keen on getting young women to reveal themselves in exchange for his beads. However, he does seem to stop when his pants suddenly loose themselves to reveal his own manhood to the hilarity of his companions and the watching audience. The next group is a band of dancing fiddlers, followed by a color guard of paladins marching in sync, carrying ornamental swords and flags, basically doing like the whole spinny gun thing like that the military kids do.
The color guard. Sorry.
Yeah, basically. Pretty much the color guard. Except with swords.
Oh.
The second float is fashioned to look almost like a large hand, with palm upright, on which a very drunk man sits laughing as the crowd tries to knock his gigantic lopsided crown off with thrown food. This is followed by more dancers, twirling sparkling golden ribbons that reflect the light of the morning, followed by a quartet of dancers who carried not ribbon, but flaming orbs on string that they spin around them in fiery circles. It's Poi!
Cat is just absolutely entranced by that.
It's good shit.
Did we lose them again?
We're here.
Are you casting that, or?
No. Yeah. Soot is standing off to the sides of the parade, and he's so delighted that in his flailing of arms, he casts light to
You're adorable.
light, and it streams down as like spotlights for the dancers. Illuminate everything even more, even though it's broad daylight.
That is more of a prestidigitation spell. Light, you have to touch something, and then it emits light.
Age-old, not reading things again.
Just goes touching things. Touch, you're glowing. Touch, you're glowing.
Do you run out into the middle of the parade to touch things and cast light on them?
Yes, I'm committed.
Okay, so you run out into the middle of the parade. There's people jumping around. You run out actually into the middle of the flaming poi dancers.
Oh, shit.
And Katrina, you notice this happen as this small childlike figure rushes out in a flurry of gray and red, just jumps out into the audience. So if you could actually describe yourself now, so we all know what we're seeing.
So you see a small bird who is of doughy gray and white feathers, wearing a white robe with a red sash, excitedly jumping amongst the people and waving his arms, which are surprisingly human, save for a few downy feathers upon his hands.
Aww.
And clacking his little birdie feet, which are very bird-like and not human-like.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he seems to be just, like, covered in, like, dirt or dust or something. There's just, like, a lot of dark, like, marks all over him. You're not really sure what it is.
How tall is he? You talking like 3 foot something or 4 feet?
He's, like, between 3 or 4 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little...
Not much shorter than
Yeah.
Like a halfling size kind of.
Yeah, like, pretty damn short. He still counts as a medium creature, though.
Baby.
Him baby.
Yes, him baby.
Yeah.
So all right. That derails everything I was about to say. Okay, so you run out into the middle of the poi dancers, and so I'm gonna need you to make like I guess a dexterity saving throw, as like these flaming balls are just spinning around you, and you're just like ah.
And then dexterity. Dexterity. Woo! Ooh, nice.
All right. Remember, you need to call out your numbers because the audience cannot see your rolls.
Not nat.
20, baby.
Modified 20. Good stuff. All right. So what were you going to cast light on specifically? I guess.
Sut in his delight is, I guess, high-fiving or touching all the dancers, even like going along with the parade and just touching people left and right. I guess it really only.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You get a couple of people, and now like this one dude's shoulder is like just what color is the light?
A sparkly yellow.
Okay, just this golden just like light coming out of his fucking coming out of his shoulder. You do like a football smack, and like another person's lower thigh, like the back of their thigh, is like just letting out like god lights from their anus.
Oh my god.
So Kat kind of nudges Oran and Gerg and is like, is that part of the parade? And points at Soot.
Yes, so Soot crap, I need to get Soot's thing open up again really quick. Oh no, am I reconnected as a player? No, I need to be as the dungeon master. Oh no. Rejoin as GM. There we go. Now I can see everyone's stuff. Can you hear me just fine?
Just kidding.
You're not audible, Michael.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get Soot's stuff up really quick.
Soot.
I'm curious.
Soot.
Alright, yeah, so you happen to notice off on the other side of the road, you are now like a little bit closer. They're about like 7 feet away. It's not the widest of parades, so they're not like covering everything. This isn't like massive. It's just something small.
Yeah.
You happen to notice a very strange group. One of them is like pointing at you, standing really, really close together across the way. One appears to be an elf. Next to him, a very large half-orc, looking very uncomfortable as he leans down and like mutters something and like kind of points and looks at you. As he leans down, you can see behind the two of them a glint of gold. A very large man stands there stoically in silver and black armor, draped in a deep purple cloak. His face is hidden by this cloak, but even with the hood up, you can see his strangely golden eyes. They catch yours for a brief moment from across the way, as you're just, like, passing in between these fire dancers, and then the orc stands back up and you can't see him anymore. Next to the half-orc, you can see a young, muscular girl in a very fine dress and a monstrous woman draped in furs. And they all seem to be watching you very concerned as you now have set the left boob of one of the dancers alight with magical light.
Soot does a gallant bow while also swiping up the shiny thing on the ground by imitating the greetings that he's learned growing up. Hail to the mother.
You just pick shit up off the ground? What are you talking about?
Shit up.
Isn't there a shiny thing?
No, the shiny was not on the ground. The shiny was on a person.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
You were talking about someone being shiny.
Yeah, because Soot slapped him.
Oh, I thought you said something was shiny on the ground.
The shiny golden eyes or something. The hooded figure.
Oh yeah, there's a dude with like really like kind of glittery golden eyes just off in the crowd.
Tiff thought you were talking about something shiny on the ground.
No tiff.
My perception's so low.
Not Soot's, just Tiffany's.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Showing.
Go ahead and roll a perception check, so it...
Let's go with that. Let's see what he's perceiving.
Sorry, I'm poking Tiffany's screen. I forget the touch screen.
Aw,
That's
hi.
persuasion.
Not perception.
I'm also illiterate.
That makes 2.
I'm so sorry.
Say it out loud!
10!
Thank you.
10.
Christ. Yeah, with that, geez, you just, you saw something golden and you couldn't, you can't really remember where it was. You know it was on the opposite side of the road, and you kind of, like, start walking that way when, like, suddenly there's, like, a big shape to the right of you, and you look to the right, and there's a horse barreling down on you this last, this last float coming towards you. Roll a dexterity saving throw really quick.
Squawk, squawk.
Dexterity, where are you? Am I dumb? Can I not read this? Where is this?
You all see this little bird person about to get trampled.
13.
I'm going to cast Mage Hand and try to give a little yank. I know Mage Hand isn't very strong, but the creature is very small and also trying to move out of the way, so kind of to give him a little push.
Okay, I'll give you a +2 to your dexterity save.
Street.
So that would be 15. With the +2.
With the +2? Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that's enough. You
Does not get stamped by a horse.
you have this panic moment as you try to, like, dodge out of the way, but you think, oh god, I'm not gonna make it. And then you feel this, like, tugging on your tunic, just, like, at the chest, and you look down and there's this almost spectral, like, hologram-esque hand made out of golden sparks and smoke. And it just kind of yanks you forward, and suddenly you're on the opposite side of the street, the parade passing by you. And standing before you is this girl that you saw earlier, who's kind of, like, moving her hands in a very arcane manner. And the hand that tugged at your chest, you look down, and it appears to be connected to hers.
I just give him a little pat on the head. Are you all right?
So it's looking so frazzled and just not. He can't summon the words, so he's just.
Did you say your feathers are ruffled?
Bird joke. He's a little boy, or ruffled little bird.
Little bird.
Little bird.
Little burp.
Blessed be. He finally musters up the words. Blessed be. Thank you.
Oh.
You're so cute.
It's very interesting. The voice coming out of this very small bird is that of an older woman, which is very strange.
What are you doing out there?
Soot, not summoning the words, just does a little twirl and claps his hands.
Did you want to be part of it?
Yes.
You have to be very careful in the city like this. It's very easy to get hurt.
Soot tries his best.
The voice that now comes out is that of a very, very deep-voiced man.
Very confused.
Elga's like,
Oran, explain.
like, fuck. What the what?
Let me see if Aran would know about this. I guess I'll do, let me see. I'll make it
I don't.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess he would know. Aran kind of, like, seems to think for a second, and he comes up, and he's like, you know, he kind of, like, bends down just a little bit, so he's eye to eye with the little bird boy, and he's like, you know, I think I may. He's a bird.
You don't say.
Well,
Well,
Helga
I've heard
down and kind of looks at him closer.
I've heard songs about a race of people who cannot speak for themselves in a way, but I didn't think it was literal. Or maybe he's just good at impressions. I don't know.
Helga's squatted down to look at the bird. Just kind of looking at getting down to his eye level,
So does
looking at it, kind of squinting and what's happening.
Is kind of imitating Helga, finding this. So does imitating Helga.
So they're just crooking their heads at each other back and forth, basically.
Yeah, just
This is just a fun game.
just tilting their heads left and right.
Yeah, they're just little people.
Good stuff. What was the? Oh, is that an insight check from Helga? Is that what the tilting the head is?
Just what? What? Yes.
Yeah. I guess from the insight check, I'll give you a vibe. The vibe you get from the bird guy is he's a bird.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's about as much. He seems cute, kind of trustworthy, probably.
Adorable. Usually put for bears, but this bird guy is cute. She reaches out to touch his head.
But kind of leans into it, but then politely steps back.
Okay.
You can only be pet so much.
Yeah. Helga, you feel your third companion, Oakfather, kind of tense up. And you glance over and you see he's staring down the way at the last float.
Oh.
All of you kind of turn around. You hear a bunch of cheering, a lot of manly jeers, and a lot of people just really excited. It's the last float, clearly coming down the way, and everyone, that's always going to be the biggest one, the one everyone's the most excited to see. It's it's the one with Santa Claus, that kind of thing. Except it's not Santa Claus.
Seems yourself.
Flanked by paladins, these soldiers in bright silver armor with these red hands emblazoned on their chests and on their shields. The scaffolding on this cart supports a massive dragon's skull, unmistakable in shape, decorated in glittering golden streamers, while another fire dancer, like the ones that Soot was having fun with, who are still lit up like a Christmas tree right now. They're all kind of trying to pat it out. They're not really sure how it's working. But they're they have to continue, otherwise they'll get trampled by the horses behind them. Another fire dancer stands inside of the open mouth of this skull, breathing flames, kind of to add a little pizzazz to it. This is an ancient golden dragon's skull, larger than a Mini Cooper. It's displayed and paraded as a trophy of war.
Yikes.
And finally, with no more preamble, I have nothing else written for this episode. My friends, what are you doing?
So, Kat also kind of stiffens up a little bit and takes a step back toward her father. And is just yikes.
You kind of, as you step back, you reach back to kind of you just kind of reach back with your hand just to touch his arm or something, and you feel he's not there anymore.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Turn around and he's gone.
Soot doesn't quite understand the pizzazz of it, so he's looking between his new friends and the skull, and is I guess he decides to tug on the closest person, which I assume is Helga now, and gives a questioning.
Helga looks at where Oakfather used to be. Looks at the bird I think that's where he's dead.
Helga and Katrina, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Katrina, not
Excuse me.
5. 5.
All right.
12. 12.
Wow. Okay. You kind of like glance around really quick, trying to look for that kind of almost pointed profile of his under the hood. He's a tall guy. You should be able to pick him out, but you just look around and you can't see him in the moving crowd, people cheering and just getting excited as a fire breather just blows out massive burst of flame from the skull, and you can feel the heat, and you're like, whoa! Truckosaurus!
Whoa, Truckosaurus!
Yeah, you see Oren and Gerd like kind of looking around a little frantically. Yeah, you don't see him anywhere.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh dear.
Not good at all.
3 dead. 3 dead. Where did you go?
There is no response.
Yeah.
Oof.
Gerg, will you give me a boost, please?
Yeah. And the
Mind the dress. These are a little bit breezier than my usual trousers.
I'll do my best to be careful. He kneels down, and you get up onto his shoulders, and he stands up, and whoa, you're tall!
Do I see Oakfather anywhere?
Roll a perception check with new circumstances.
Shiny.
Slightly better, 14.
All right. I'd say the DC was lower because you were up higher than
I'm
the
tall
crowd.
now.
Because you're tall now. You're kind of looking around, and then Gerd kind of shifts over to the right, almost just as a guess, and you see him on the opposite side of the road, heading in towards the market. You see a large purple cloaked figure kind of shuffling between people. You see, like, he kind of gets to a thick, dense crowd of people, and he just walks straight through them, kind of shoves a couple people out of the way.
Ooh.
He's over there. And I kind of point.
You should ratatouille him. No way, he doesn't have hair to pull.
He has ears.
Alright, thank you, guys.
Please don't pull my ears. Yeah, he kneels. He lets you down. Now the horse poop sweepers are kind of following that float, so you can assume that the parade's kind of over. People are starting to disperse a bit, which is making it a little difficult to kind of get through because everyone's walking in every which way direction, kind of towards the center. Because where you were is you were kind of like in a tavern inn, so to speak, and then there was kind of a main thoroughfare, and then across that was a big marketplace that seems to be mostly decorated for the festivities. A couple of stalls are open, a lot of people milling about, and it like basically opposite that appears to be just a bunch of like big stone walls, because this whole city is like 50-foot stone walls just kind of dividing the different areas and sections, and you can see off in the distance the big stone towers of the main keep of Dagdaral, and that appears to be the general direction that almost everyone seems to be going, almost, more or less, including your
I'm
companion.
going to chase after Oakfather.
All right.
Everyone else is coming too.
Follow.
Okay.
Yeah, so it tags along.
All right.
He's
So-
just here to party.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. You start off, and as you guys are moving along, there's this brief moment where you kind of lose sight of him, and then you catch him again, going like down another way, and so you duck around some stalls, and you burst through a crowd of people, and you can see him on the opposite side of a clearing, and you keep going, and
you eventually catch up to this purple-cloaked figure in the by a what looks to be a dry stone fountain, one that maybe has been turned off for the winter, but they might be reactivating it soon. You're not sure. With the coming of warmer days, you catch up to him and you grab his arm and you whip him around, and it is not a fake out. It is actually Oakfather, and and as you grab him.
I wish some other shows knew how to properly subvert audience expectations.
Ooh, first Game of Thrones shade.
Oh my god.
Goes to Kurt.
First of many.
First of many. As you grab his arm with that surprising unnatural strength that nobody ever expects from you, Katrina, he whips around and his hood falls back and the sunlight glitters off of. So for the first time, you see these golden dragon's scales. Before you stands 7.5 feet tall, a golden dragonborn.
I quickly mage hand his cap back up. His hood back up.
A blessing! Stud is pointing excitedly, looking at what he's heard of stories of this, but his only words he can muster is a blessing!
We are trying not to attract attention.
Very interesting. This time the voice that comes out of the bird creature is that of a young child.
Is that a fucking gremlin?
Is that a gremlin?
Yeah, you try to mage hand his hood back up, but he actually grabs the spectral hand and crushes it in his fist and lets the hood fall back.
What a cranky man.
Cranky dragon.
Did you disconnect, babe?
Am I reconnected?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. It was for a brief moment.
Yeah, I missed a minute of that.
No.
Did you hear the last thing that I said?
Yeah. Did you hear the last thing that we said?
Yeah, what was the last thing that I said?
Shit.
I heard mage hand.
No, I said shh. And I said, look, we're you're not in trouble. Just, you saw that, and you see him, and connect the dots. Not a good idea that people, also see him.
Oh.
Yeah, so you have no fucking idea what she's talking about.
Yeah, no. Seth doesn't get it. He's
hiding.
There's the very, very just vacant expression in this bird's face as you're trying to explain the socio-political situation of Dragonborn in a few short phrases.
Oh, Father, why did you run off like that? That was not safe and not smart. And usually you're the one telling me to be safe and smart, and I really don't like this current reversal of our roles.
I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
Goodbye.
Shut up. No, he's not leaving.
Huh?
No, he's not leaving.
I'm going because this place is not right for me.
Well, yes, but we don't plan to stay here. Should we meet up with you later, then?
I think... And he steps forward a little closer and slowly pulls his hood back over his face. And, there are some people kind of watching, but, most of them are kind of stepping away because it looks serious. You all have massive weapons on you. It's just kind of I shouldn't mess with that. But there are some people watching, and so he steps a little closer. Look, I don't believe that the star is my destiny anymore. It might be yours, and I encourage you to seek it out. Do what you will. I hope you find it, I guess, but I received a message last night.
That was actually a thing.
So it perks up at this?
the Silver Lady spoke to me and showed me my next step, and I am sorry to say that I don't believe it involves any of you anymore.
So you're just gonna fuck off then?
Yes, I'm going to fuck off.
After all that, just bye, Felicia.
Carly.
Katrina quotes an old an old theatrical adage from her homeland, I suppose.
Oh my god. Goodbye, Felicia. Farewell, Felicia.
Farewell.
It's not going to be any use arguing with you, is it?
No, it isn't.
Never is.
You really are stubborn.
I hope we meet again under better circumstances than the first time we met.
Kurt doesn't quite read the room, so he reaches out to the hooded figure and with a question like, "Blessed be."
No. Yeah, he'll be okay.
He kind of just looks at the rest of you awkwardly and...
Oh, he doesn't care.
No.
He looks at the tiny bird creature. He's very confused by you. And then he seems to think, actually, for a minute as he's looking at you, Soot, and there's this strange kind of recognition. Not like he knows you, but almost as if he...
Dinosaurs are relatives.
Almost as if he recognizes, like, the idea of you.
Ah.
Sure, if you want to interpret it that way.
Sut doesn't feel the same way and is honestly just... Well, no, Sut's actually curious about this dragon-faced human because he thinks this is a blessing and maybe this is guided by the Great Flame.
Oh.
Maybe.
Can he roll religion?
Sure, go ahead and roll a religion check.
15.
I mean, alright,
I don't know what this means.
The blessings of the Everflame are many and cannot be known in their entirety, for they are so holy and beyond all that is. And it may very well be that this golden man here was blessed by the Everflame to sparkle with her light and lead others to her light, perhaps, maybe. Huh?
So it takes off some of the dirt from his face and rubs it on the hooded figure. Oh my god!
So you watch as Soot slaps his own chubby bird cheeks, and this of actual soot puffs off of him, and he just rubs it on Oakfather's cloak, and Oakfather's like,
Blessed be with you.
What's the sweet little word? What was that?
Okay, we caught up to you. Oh, goodness. Oh, you run so fast. Oh, yeah. Gerg? Oh, he's still back there. Shit. Oh, hey, you caught up to Oakfather. That's great.
Yeah, he's decided that he's gonna leave.
What? Why?
Because his magical... And Kat kind of she just hops and just kind of hands in the air like, gods!
Gods! Yes!
So just like that then, huh? You're gonna leave us? Well, I told you that I was only gonna be with you guys as long as our, as long as our goals were the same, and now they're not. So it's time for me to go. All right.
Got to go all in, be who I am.
Yikes.
Starts playing.
And Oakfather kind of just looks at all of you and kind of turns on his heel and walks into the crowd, and a couple of crowds pass by him, and
Does he do that, like, dude nod?
nah, he just turns around and leaves. Just awkwardly turns around and leaves.
You know what? More accurate.
And you're all just kind of there in the marketplace. And hey, what I miss?
Sparkle's left.
Fuck?
Yeah.
Question mark. Oran kind of turns to Gerg and explains it. And this dawning realization and kind of just understanding and just like, well, oh well, kind of look passes over Gerg's face.
Mm.
So now what?
We continue on.
Now we should go and see your friend and, I don't know, look around, experience the city.
Well,
That I'd like to do while I'm here.
Well, we are in the middle of a festival, and I'm sure our friend is probably busy today, considering it's a festival. So how's about, let's do this. We need money. For whatever we're about to do, we need money. How's about Gerg and I go do what we do, make a little bit of cash, and the rest of you go and enjoy the festival. You've been fighting for your lives for us for days. How about you just go and enjoy yourselves for a bit?
That sounds good to me. I have money. Do you need money, Oran?
How much money do you have?
We don't have enough money for a boat, Helga.
Oh.
Yeah, that's upwards of a couple thousands of gold.
I don't know how much is boat.
A lot.
Now, I do have
Many bears.
1,446 copper pieces.
That's about 15 gold.
That's something.
You guys go enjoy the festival. We're gonna go and do what we do best. Alright? Yeah, let's just... Yeah.
They're selling sex on the fruits.
Bird, do you have
Sex?
No. Where is your home?
The Brotherhood is far into the east, and I am here.
Oh. East is...
I kind of orient Helga's body to the east.
Helga, roll a survival check.
I just
knows where east is.
I just kind of turn her body.
Just not in the middle of the city, maybe.
Alright, Helga, you kind of like look up at the... at the Sky River.
Am
You're
I
kind yeah, you're audible, Carly.
Okay.
We disconnected for a brief moment, though. Hello.
Did you hear what I said? I said that I kind of just grab Helga by the shoulders and angle her east.
Yeah, we heard that.
Okay.
I know, I was
didn't
saying,
hear
I
that.
think Helga knows where east is. She just can't get her bearings very well in a city.
Yeah, so Helga, I had Helga roll a survival check, and Helga, you look up at the Sky River, the kind of band of gold that traces across the sky, and you're kind of squinting past that big glowing sphere in the sky that's not the sun, at the sun, and you're just like, why are there two suns? What the fuck? And you're like, okay, east is opposite of west. Got it.
Got it. Yeah. Anyways, now that we've done that, your soot.
Soot nods very
Oh.
enthusiastically.
Oh, Soot is bird.
And Soot shakes his head. I am Soot.
Oh, Soot is Soot.
Soot nods.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Cat.
Cat?
Not like animal cat, like the animal that eats birds. No. My name is Katrina.
And this is real Cat. Holds up Crumpet.
Oh yeah. So you see,
Crumpet.
you see as Helga holds up this this very mangled. What do you want to describe?
I said, may I? He's a kind of a mangy, partially hairless, three-legged cat with one eye. And when she holds him up, he goes, meow.
Very grumpily.
He just looks so done with the world.
Soot kind of inspects Crumpet, and he mimics the meow. Meow. And then looks at Cat and goes like, Katrina.
Yes, that's me.
And then he points at Helga, goes like, Katrina?
No, I am Helga.
Helga.
Da.
Oh,
Your bird is copying.
Soot shakes his head. Soot!
Soot is copying.
Soot nods.
Yeah, it's very charming and thoroughly disconcerting how this tiny creature is able to mimic your voices exactly.
Nah. You are fun. That's a fun party trick, Soot.
Oren and Girk have already left, by the way.
Oh.
I am going to amble towards the hot cocoa stall that we saw yesterday.
Okay, so you'll have to backtrack. You'll have to.
Chocolate.
Yeah, you'll have to backtrack a little bit because you chased Oakfather for quite a bit, but you kind of weave your way back towards where you think it was, and there it is. There is the elderly woman sitting at her stall opposite the other stall selling what looks like some more sparklers, except these ones are emitting red and gold sparks.
When I see that, I remember it and I go, "Oh, Soot, I bet you'll like this." And I pull out one of the sparklers and I kind of just barely activate my firebolt in my hands and it just light it.
Yeah, you kind of like snap your fingers and it causes a little spark and
I just hand it to Soot.
Soot just twitters. He's enjoying this little sparkle thing. It's like,
there you go. You can play with that.
Careful those with the feathers.
beep.
Yeah,
Is that the,
sorry, that's my alarm.
Oh, that's your beep.
Yeah. My bad. It's
okay.
yeah, this is gonna be...
Well, you guys are in the middle of this market, and as you look around yourselves, do you get some more hot chocolate?
Yes, I'm gonna walk up and get in line for the hot chocolate.
Absolutely. There isn't too much of a line. It's kind of early morning. It's still early morning. Most people seem to have already gotten breakfast or something, and you catch it at a pretty low time, so you only have to stand by a couple of people. But you get your hot chocolate, and the lady recognizes. She's like, "Oh, dearie, it's so nice to see you again."
I would also like a chocolate.
Oh, you.
Do
Of
you happen
course.
to have any breakfast pastries?
I'm sorry, I only have the hot chocolate.
Right.
But if you go further in, I'm sure someone has some food. There's also games. I know you mentioned that you were new here, so go in, have some fun. There's food, there's fun, there's drinks. And she points at the big Helga. You might like. They have an arm wrestling tournament every year that you might like.
And I kind of just flex my arms in my floofy dress, just like trying to look tough.
It's cute. Sadly, it is cute.
Aww.
Aw.
How much was the hot cocoa?
It was for both yours and Helga's. If you're paying, it's like 2 copper.
I got it. And I also buy one for the bird.
Okay. So that's 3 copper. Mark that off your inventory.
Did so.
Good. All right. So you all.
And I just I'll hand it to the bird's other hand.
I think at this point the sparkler might have fizzed out and so just kind of has already thrown away the stick. But he's delighted by the hot chocolate and takes loving little sips through his beak, I guess.
Sure. Birds drink. That's a thing they do.
So, did you just travel just to see the festival, or what are you doing here?
Slit contemplatively drinks his hot cocoa, and he chooses his words very carefully, as if going through a catalog in his brain. And then he repeats, "You are an avatar, a herald of her guiding beacon. A star is her sign, and you must find it."
Oh, the star.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. He doesn't know how to react to this. Just the constant going from sweet chittering little bird noises to cryptic old lady messages.
Do you think it's the same star?
If I had to guess.
Where is Star?
I forget.
You just forgot.
I forget.
You would remember that you had all had kind of done a little calculating and you kind of knew that the star fell somewhere to the northeast.
Oh, that's right.
Far to the northeast of Beconville.
Oh, so out of the... Gotcha.
I don't think Soot's from the east. That doesn't make sense.
Soot's from the west. Soot's from this area. We'll put it that way.
Oh, is he close to home?
I mean, a day's travel, maybe.
Oh, wow. He has just journeyed out. Nice, guys.
Do you have a map loaded in here?
I do, but none of you have a map.
That's true.
Cool. So it just kind of shrugs and...
Y'all should probably buy a map.
Maybe look at the other stalls. He gestures towards the other stalls, would you like to join me in a kind of gesture?
Okay. Hold little bird's hand. Let's go.
I'm so delighted by this.
Alright, so y'all kind of walk around. You see people are selling little trinkets. There are some stalls that are games. You see,
Do I see anyone selling stuffed animals?
not quite yet. You do see, a group of people kind of gathered around this empty space, and it looks like it's basically shuffleboard is what it looks like. They're pushing these discs on what looks like someone poured water over the cobblestones and tried to smooth it out, and it froze into ice overnight. And they're currently just basically doing they're doing curling, but shuffleboard curling. There appears to be some there's a person kind of organizing the whole thing, and they're kind of giving out these little chocolate treats. There's appears to be a longer section with a crowd of cheering people that looks like a foot race, but you see a lot of people falling and slipping, and so you can assume that it's probably over ice as well. There's some people standing off to the side around a bunch of taller people who also wobble and fall, and there's a gap in the crowd. You see they appear to be balancing on these large barrels. There's a small stall with a guy who's talking in this very magician way. He's yes, the magical ball, see if you can find it. And this You go to that one?
Yeah, so it goes to that guy. He likes stories.
Ah, yes! A little strange creature come to witness true magic. Yes, please, come. Do you see the ball?
And he holds up this little...
That?
You what?
I just tell you looks at it are you okay being called that? Jeez.
So it's just He mimics back like, "Come see."
Okay, that's actually kind of creepy. Anyway, do you see the ball? And he holds up this wooden ball that's painted gold and red. See, and keep your eye on it. And he drops it and he catches it under a wooden cup. And then he puts 2 more cups on the table. And he starts to swirl them around and around and around, twirling them faster and faster until suddenly they stop. And he pushes the 3 of them forward in a line. Go ahead and roll a general perception check to see if you were able to keep an eye on which one it was.
I rolled a 12.
I rolled 15.
I am rolling now. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all of you kind of simultaneously just point to the one on the left, and he lifts it up, and the ball's under that one. He's like, "Well done! You were able to keep your eye on the ball, as they say. But
High five.
If you are willing to test your might again, I can double your money. For example, if you were to give me a silver piece and you could find it again, you might find another silver piece."
Is Cat familiar with, like, street scams?
So sure isn't. He's putting down a silver coin.
Does Sun have a silver?
Yeah, he has what, 800?
800 silver?
I
That
don't.
doesn't sound right.
I have a bag of holding. I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
You're looking at
You don't have a bag of holding, Soot.
I'm like looking at them.
That's my bag of holding.
Huh?
No, like that's like the group's bag of holding.
Oh, can he spend your money?
No.
Yeah, Soot, you don't have any money.
Dang it.
I give a silver piece.
You what?
I give Soot a silver piece, and I'm like, look, I don't think this is the greatest idea, but I give him a silver piece just to, like, teach him the lesson.
Okay, so you give Soot the silver piece, you put it down.
It's like that scene in Lilo and Stitch where he's like, "Can I have some money?" And then and then he puts it on the table.
Yeah. And he puts it down. And the guy's like, "Yes, now you see the ball.
When he goes to catch it, I am going to, to catch it in the next cup, I'm going to, sneeze and try to get his attention. And when I do, I'm going to attempt to catch the ball with Mage Hand.
Okay, I would like to point out that you are in a very, very close space, and Mage Hand is not invisible.
I know, that's why I'm trying to distract him. It's already cast, but...
It's already cast, it has not maintained this long.
Oh, okay, so I'm going to cast it behind his back, because I can cast it anywhere, right?
What are the components of that spell?
I don't know.
Are they somatic, material? They're definitely not material. Verbal and somatic. So you have to say something. So you're going to try and disguise it as your sneeze?
Yes.
Mage Hand.
All right. Go ahead and roll a deception check, Katrina.
Oh boy, I'm great at these. 1 second, computer's slow.
You're fine.
Wait. Watching this and he's looking very confused.
I rolled a natural 20.
All right. So,
21.
as the man drops the ball and is going to catch it, you sneeze, and you sneeze this obnoxious sneeze. And he kind of looks at you a brief moment, and your Mage Hand just grabs the ball, and he puts the cup down, and he's like,
I keep the Mage Hand behind his back so he doesn't see it.
And he's like, and he just does the things, and he's like looking at it, and he's like, yes. Oh, I can feel the magic flowing through. The ball is where?
So go ahead and roll a perception check to see if you know where the ball is.
He rolled a 12.
Okay, Katrina, I would have you roll a sleight of hand check, I guess, with your, mage hand. See how sneaky you could be with that?
Sneaky marriage.
I'm just keeping it behind his back. I just want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, but I want to see if Soot noticed.
12 also.
All right, well, that means that Soot knows where the ball is.
Soot knows.
Soot, ever the lawful child, points
Points
at the guy. Like, no.
Points at the man.
What did he say? Oh, yeah,
Well, that's where the ball is. It's behind him, but he
You're
just
just
knows
pointing
where
at
it is.
him, and the
Yeah.
man's like, it's under one of these cups, young creature.
Soot shakes his head like,
hold on,
ball.
Helga's gonna roll perception. I'm gonna roll perception for Helga too to see if Helga knows. Oh, Helga's like, yeah.
And I'm just like quietly tittering.
Helga's gonna be like, no, the ball is not under the cup.
And the man's just like, no, seriously, you have to pick one of the cups. That's how this works.
The ball is not under any of the cups. Will you give us quadruple the money if the ball is not under any of the cups?
And he looks at you, and he looks you up and down. He kind of looks at your hair, which is like a lot straighter than most people's of your skin tone. And he's like,
One mix, whatever.
he kind of just, it's very obvious to him now that you're not from here. And he's,
What are you?
you know,
God.
I'm surprised you know what the word quadruple is.
Hey, that wasn't called for. Are you going to take the bet or not?
Take the bet.
He grabs the silver and throws it.
10 times now for that comment.
He grabs the silver and he throws it at Soot. Get out of here. I'm trying to run a business.
Helga leans over the table and takes the ball from behind him. And then holds it in his face.
Go ahead and roll a intimidation check. I get you can use your strength modifier if you so desire. So just roll a d20 and then add
Aw.
Okay,
Well-
so maybe it's not intimidating, but can she still can I still physically do that?
You can still physically do that, and you're up in his face, and he looks nervous a bit, but he seems to kind of be looking around you, and kind of mutters under his breath, "Where's a paladin when you need one?"
I'm just gonna take the ball.
You just start walking away with the ball. All right.
Sure. Let's see what happens.
Let me see.
Missed opportunity to just pull out from his ear. Ta-da!
Well, I've already held it in his face.
Yeah, more like jerk.
So, just do you all follow Helga, or is Helga just walking away from all of you now?
Soot looks between Helga and the
Helga's
vendor.
holding Sid's hand.
Yeah,
Grabs his hand, just walks away.
Soot just sticks his tongue out at the vendors, like
Finds a new game.
Once you all are at a safe enough distance, you hear the vendor call after you. I thought all Northlanders were supposed to be scary beasts.
Okay,
Cat stops and takes the ball from Helga.
Jeez, is everyone here racist?
And he just turns around and lobs it at the guy's face.
Go ahead and roll a ranged attack. But don't add your proficiency bonus because you are not proficient with tiny balls.
So just roll a d20.
Roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier.
So /roll
/R 1d20.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I clicked that by accident.
Nice. Just randomly make a forgery.
That's one.
Throw it at him.
He doesn't even notice because you throw it and it flies off into the sun. It's just gone, and like as you're walking, you think you hear a.
You know what? Because of who Helga is as a person, she's gonna go ahead and turn back around.
Oh shit.
And she's enraged. One might say she is even in a rage.
Oh no.
3 she has per day.
Okay, so Katrina, you've seen this before, so you know where this is going, but Soot, you haven't seen this before, so it's actually a little terrifying.
Yeah.
You see this woman who's already very large, grows a few inches, all of her muscles swell, the hair on her head and body lengthens considerably and turns this pale white, and her eyes seem to get an even more piercing, just animalistic blue. And as she kind of growls a bit under her breath, you can see her canines have lengthened as this barbarian is now in a rage.
So it just kind of mumbles over his
put
breath.
a hand on Helga, and I'm like, we should probably try not to get arrested today.
So it's just mumbling, blessed by the Everfire.
He's just saying all sorts of shit today.
Everyone with superpowers is blessed by the Everfire.
Blessed by the Everfire. Oh gosh.
So she kind of relaxes.
Oh gosh, that is the cutest thing I can imagine coming out of a bird.
Blessed by the Everfire.
Blessed by the Everfire.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So she kind of relaxes some at Cat's touch, and is like, "Well, I'm calling him the beast I can be."
So are you continuing towards him, or are you going to let your rage subside?
You stand over him and just kind of
Oh, you're still going. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So you get there.
stand over him.
Okay, go ahead and roll intimidation with advantage.
Smile wickedly. You said advantage.
Yeah.
You pick advantage, intimidation.
Yeah. As you come up, he sees you, and he kind of sits back in his chair. What are you? As you loom over him, this almost literal monster.
Oh my god.
I am a northerner.
You're the guardian
I am a
of the
beast.
galaxy, bitch.
I am a northerner. We are all beasts, no?
Helga's voice comes out. Helga doesn't talk much when she's in a rage. It's usually just "Rah!" But as she talks, it's this disturbing guttural growl, not her usual guttural growl. What do you want from me?
Ball. Ball.
I would like for you to be more courteous to my friends in the future.
Sure.
Alright. I'm happy now. Let's go find another game.
Okay, so you let your rage subside?
That is majorly regretting messing with the dude because it just escalated, and she momentarily forgot. Oh yeah, this is us. We're fucking stupid.
We're fucking stupid. We have shit rolls.
Oh man.
I'm intimidated by Helga now. He's standing on the other side of Cat.
Oh no.
But it's huh.
Helga has retracted her teeth, claws, hair, and body back to normal.
Yeah, Helga's back to normal. Helga's back to her normal, beautiful, dark-skinned self.
Yeah, so it doesn't really buy that. He just kind of looks at his hands, looks at Helga as
I was just holding hands with a bear. With that one. What happened?
So you walk a little further, and you kind of put some distance between you and that stall. Somewhere else in the market, you see another, you see kind of like almost a tent, and it's draped in this deep, purple sparkly cloth that's kind of stained at the bottom, where it's like rubbing against the mud and the dirt, but it's kind of flowing in the breeze a bit, and like there's not really a line out, but like you see some person leave, and they got like their head kind of like they're just like scratching their head, just like and like they just walk past you, and you hear them mutter like it can't be, it's impossible.
What can't be?
Possible.
Impossible.
Impossible.
What's happening?
Nope.
I'm so lost. What's happening?
Do you stop the guy and ask him what?
Yeah, sure.
No, I was just like confused, like what's happening? Looking around, like trying to understand what's happening.
A guy walked out of a tent, and he was like really confused, like, "Oh, this can't be."
Oh, okay. He's coming out of time.
So wants to investigate.
Okay, so you as Helga's very confused by this man walking past, Soot has trotted off to this tent, and you see his cute little tail feathers just disappearing into the flaps.
He's gone into the tent.
Wait, baby, come back. We can't let our child
Kind of
away.
just follow like a literal child.
I ain't your baby.
You officially are.
That's, yeah.
You are.
We're officially a 3 generations party. We got fathers.
I'm baby?
We've got the fathers. We got like the middle-aged. Not middle-aged. We're young. But then like baby. Anyways.
Jeez.
So yeah, so one into the tent.
So yeah,
Okay.
you two are like, I assume you two like panicked follow after Soot. Oh no, we need to put Soot on a leash or something.
So baby leash.
Yeah, for real. Like get him one of those monkey backpacks that's actually a leash.
Jesus. Yeah, so as you enter the tent, it's darkly lit, and in the center there is a hooded figure sitting at a small table with a crystal ball, and they're shuffling a deck of very large cards that are ornate and very decorative.
Ah, yes. Have you come for a reading?
I don't know how to read.
So just kind of like points at himself and then to Helga.
I'm not... Do you want a reading?
I cannot read.
Okay.
So,
Go away then, if you don't want a reading.
No,
so wants a reading?
will
He
you-
nods.
Will you read it to me?
Yes, that's part of the whole... Anyway, just sit down if you...
I
Yeah.
was just confused by the phrasing.
It's called a reading.
Sit down.
Do we need to pay? And I'm kind of just like situating myself into the chair, like, okay.
We're doing this now.
Yes, it's a silver piece for a random reading, 2 silver for a specific question.
So pulls out the one silver that Kat had given him that was thrown at his face, and then looks at Helga. Can I get another one? His eyes says.
Oh, he said. Oh, he's just like his eyes just say it.
He does the Puss in Boots thing.
The baby bird eyes.
Other silver.
Yeah. Helga hands him another silver because he's too stinking cute.
All right.
He puts down both of the silver pieces and pushes them towards the lady.
All right.
So, little boy, what is your question?
Sid's so delighted. He starts trying to gather the words in his mind, and he repeats what he had told his companions.
Oh my, that's very strange voice coming out of you.
You are one to talk.
I'm an old lady. I'm supposed to sound like this.
Well, maybe a small bird person is also old lady.
That is possible. I've never seen a bird who can talk anyway.
Well, it's not the bird, it's Soot.
Soot is Soot.
You are Soot. You are adorable.
Brains, like, yeah, I know.
Okay, so that wasn't necessarily phrased as a question. If you need to phone a friend, you can, I guess.
And she, like, looks to the two of you, like, I don't know how to help this tiny creature.
Oh, Helga got it in one. He's not. Like, where's the star?
You want to know where is star?
Yes.
Just repeat after me.
Where is the star? You mean the one that fell from the sky?
Well, what else? What other star is there?
I mean,
One
there
that-
could be the star fruit. There could be
The star
a...
that sprouted up out of the ground.
Sure. Fuck it. The star that fell from the sky. All right, let's do this.
She has clearly dropped the facade at this point.
Let's do this.
All right, fuck it.
We broke
No, wait,
this
don't
one.
you know kind of where star is? Don't pay for that question. Ask another question.
Well, we like to get specifics, and it's Soot's question.
Well, that's true.
All right.
Yeah, like he
Okay.
he has a mission. He wants.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ignore Helga's side talk.
So we're doing this or what? Like, I'm ready to flip over these cards here. So... Okay, cool. Anyway, first card.
And she turns over the card.
All
right. Pulls over the next one. Aha. And she pulls over the next one, and she gets really quiet. That's... Tell you what. And she slides the 2 silver back towards you, Soot. You, the 3 of you seem very nice.
The bird helps.
Go home.
Oh.
Go home.
Go home.
Everyone here is racist.
Get out. Get out now, please.
Excuse me.
Get out!
I would like a general reading.
Get out! She, like, stands up, and she's, like, actually shorter when she stands up. And she just, like, kind of she, like, goes around the table and starts, like, pushing all of you out of her tiny little tent. She's like, get out, get out, get out, please, get out, get out.
That just screams like the Everfire.
Are you really too afraid to tell us what you saw?
Roll a charisma check.
Cat asking the real questions, though.
Charisma check
Mm-hmm.
or save?
No, charisma check. You're not saving
Okay.
from anything. You're, like, you know,
All right.
trying to be charismatic and, like, you know, get her to do what you want. Okay.
That was a 16.
All right. Her arms kind of stop pushing you, and you're all kind of at the entrance of this of this very small tent, and she just kind of she doesn't like let you back in, but her arms, she stops pushing you out, and she kind of stops for a moment and just kind of mutters from behind you. She mutters, I saw... You will find this star if you seek it. But it will not grant you what you want. And it will unleash something that you cannot control.
Oh, shit.
Cat kind of pales at that.
So does Soot. Well, he doesn't really pale. He has feathers.
He's a bird.
But he does look visibly shaken.
Shook.
He's shook. Shook it.
If you want me to explain more, you can come back in.
I just walk straight in.
Yeah, he tags along behind.
Okay, so you all sit back down around this table. The air very different in this tent, and the lady kind of just sits there. And she pulls her hood back, and she is this old
old dwarven woman, with this wispy white strands around her chin where a beard may used to have been, and just almost nothing on top, and she's just very, very frail, but she has these bright eyes, and she kind of looks at the rest of you, and the cards are still on the table, and she kind of like shoves the crystal ball out of the way, and it kind of bounces on the floor because it's not actually crystal.
Oh, wow.
Just boom, 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 boom,
Boing,
boom.
boing, boing.
Anyway, and she shoves the 3 cards forward, and the first one is of a bunch of hands reaching towards a stylized 6-pointed star.
So it's pictures.
This one, yes, it's pictures.
Helga goes, these won't even have the words. They're just
This
pictures. Why
this
are you
card indicates. Bear with me. All of these
okay.
readings that I take are they are interpreted. I've been doing this for a very long time, so my interpretations are usually correct. You know, most people come to me and ask, "Oh, will Giselda love me back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, fuck it." Most people don't ask about, you know, cosmic events. This first card indicates the achieving of a goal.
Oh.
This next card, however, and she pushes the next one forward, and it is it has a jagged diagonal slash down the center, where there is a face, and on one side of the jagged slash there is a beautiful woman's face with flowing hair, and on the other half her face is a skull. This card indicates duplicity, which means, to me, either you will not get what you want out of achieving your goal, or you have been lied to or misinformed about your goal. Either way, kind of bad shit. There are multiple interpretations, I will say. That doesn't mean that these are necessarily all related. It just has to do with your question. And let's be honest, I'm pulling cards out of a deck. Right? There's not really anything mystical going on here. We just, you know, those of us who practice these kinds of readings, and she's clearly trying to, like, reassure you in some way. You know, those of us who practice these readings, we like to think that, you know, there's always some mystical power guiding us to pick the right card, but when it really comes down to it, the world is run by chance. The roll of the dice, the flip of the coin, the turning over a random card. It just, you know, I don't know.
Still looks very troubled and disgruntled by this. He's not liking what this lady's putting down.
Anyway, this last card is kind of the concerning part. And she pushes forward, and it is almost entirely black, except as you look at it, you can just make out these faint colors. It appears to have been painted in shades of just slightly off of black, so that you can only really pick out the picture the longer you look at it. And what slowly seems to emerge on the card is that of a kind of a jar, out of which the lid has it doesn't have a lid. And it's out from the jars bursting horrific demonic faces and these twisted expressions of pain. And she says, this card is the loss of control. So, anyway, that's what those cards are. That is your reading. You can keep your money because, honestly, that was a shit reading.
Can we do another one?
Shit reading.
I'm not really looking forward to doing that.
gonna be honest with you.
I toss her a gold piece.
Ooh.
Well, twist my arm. Fuck it. Well, since we're in this deep high, I'm Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. My name is Katrina.
Lovely to meet you.
So,
Nice.
Oh, I'm Helga.
Hello, Helga. Okay.
So, my question...
Sure. What's your fucking question?
Sheesh.
Shit's reading.
Do the hands of... That was really funny, too. Shit reading.
Shit reading.
He thinks she's a fraud and she sucks.
She's reading.
Would you like to roll an insight check?
So?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't believe her, you can always ask me, do I believe them?
He doesn't. Well, no. He got an 8.
He's not sure, but he really doesn't like what he heard, but he's not sure, and that's what's frustrating.
He hates
That's
it.
a natural one, by the way.
Yeah, he has no
If
fucking
it's
idea.
a natural one.
Yeah, he has no fucking idea.
No, I was
Okay.
like, though.
Tip, that's a nat one. Because your modifier is
So,
7.
yeah, you don't know what's...
I don't like what I heard.
He hates it, so he doesn't comprehend it.
Yeah, he doesn't like what he heard, so somewhere in his brain he's like, okay, there's no way of really knowing whether this lady's full of shit, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's my question.
Right?
All my life, I've been told that I have a certain destiny that I have to follow. My question is, do I have any control over it?
Well, I'll still pull the cards for you, young lady, but in my advanced age, I can tell you that there's a lot of free will involved with destinies, and most destinies are chosen by those who they are for. I would like you to bear that in mind.
Alright.
Alright, let's do this shit.
I like her.
We like Brenda the dwarf.
We like her. Well, no, I don't.
We don't like Brenda the dwarf.
We don't like Brenda the dwarf.
Alright, so she pulls out the cards. And, okay, she shuffles the crowns around, kind of waves her hands over them, kind of mutters like a short little ditty over them as you do. Shabba-labba-dee-da-do-ba-da. It doesn't sound like that.
That's her true reading powers.
Yeah, so she just she pulls the first card. And she kind of looks at you. She's like, is it okay if I give this reading out loud? I feel like I should have asked that first, but it seems like you're all kind of... Okay, sure, fine. So, this is obviously called the Crown, and she pushes forward a card that has a very ornate, glowing crown on it that the points, it's not just a simple like spiky points like you get at fucking Burger King. It's like almost like made out of like living plants, but they're gold and they intertwine and weave, and it's very, very regal. So this one means a number of things. You are very well dressed, I can see, and it would probably be fair for me to assume that you are some sort of nobleman's daughter who is... I'm not going to assume your life. That's not very fair of me. Anyway, this
Isn't
one...
the whole point for you to be assuming my life right now?
Well, The point is for me to tell you what the cards mean and for you to kind of interpret it, and I'm supposed to say a bunch of mumbo jumbo that kind of sounds familiar to you, and then you'll be like, oh, that makes sense, but I'm really kind of not in the mood to bullshit you. Mostly because I already gave you all a shit reading, and you're in here, and it's been a slow day.
A slow day during a
Okay, so what are the things that the crown can mean?
Okay, so the crown can mean a number of things. It can mean the coming of... It all kind of comes down to you will come into some amount of power or leadership or some sort of role. You seem to be very, with these people. Perhaps you will run your own business, maybe, or you will be leading an expedition for this star. Hopefully not. I still advise you all to just go home and not do whatever that is going to be.
Yeah, that kind of seems to be the mood today.
That might not be an option because for reasons.
Well, that's fair. You all don't seem like you're from around here, and in my years, I've never met anyone who's traveled as far as you have, probably, for any good reason. So, that's a fair thing to say. Anyway, next card, dear Allhammer, protect me. And she pulls the next card over. Oh, okay, that's less shit. Excellent. And she puts the next card forward, and it is a kind of like a muscly arm gripping it's flexing basically, and this one here indicates the gaining of power. In not necessarily a physical sense, it can be more metaphorical, like, again, maybe you're going to start a business, maybe you're going to, I don't know, I'm just going to stick with the business thing here. Who knows, maybe it's going to be, like, a really niche business, like,
We're doing entrepreneurs, we are.
Yep, definitely. You all look definitely like entrepreneurs. You're going to be selling some towels, and it's going to be great, and I want to know all about it.
Shit reading.
At some point. Look, little bird, I'm trying here. You all came in here and messed with my mojo. I have a spiel I normally do, but you kind of fucked that up.
Shit spiel.
Shit spiel. Anyway, last card.
I was gonna pat sit on the back like there, it's okay.
And she flips the next card over, kind of looks at it, and like tilts her head a bit. And she pushes forward the card, and the image on the card is that of it's nothing you've ever seen in a text before, but it's probably an artist's rendering of what a dragon would look like. Maybe. I mean, it's got like legs and wings, and like looks like there's fire coming out of its mouth, and it's very beautiful like artwork, but it doesn't look anything like the skull, at least, that you guys saw on the float earlier today. It just looks, it's a dragon, you guess. And she kind of looks at it and looks at you, Katrina, and she says, this card kind of, you are going to be the subject of a lot of adversity. But this card kind of has two meanings. It means adversity, but it also means triumphing over that adversity. Your reading is actually one that can be very vague, and it can mean a lot of things. I will not presume your entire life, because you seem kind of private, and honestly, I'd rather not hear the little bird call my readings shit anymore. So, to make this a little faster, long story short, long story short, you are going to come into possession of a title or power or money, and it is going to come with its own set of trepidations and trials, but if you are determined, you should be able to overcome them.
So, my towel company is going to go very well then.
Absolutely, I want to be first in line when your business opens. You know, I need to get my hair very dry, otherwise it freezes up.
You know, back home we used to trade with these people. Very nice textiles. I could help you out. I could maybe hook you up if we go find them, Cat.
Sure, that sounds wonderful.
I just totally misses. Not for you, lady. I'm talking to my friend. Yes. She's the one starting the towel business.
Do you want a reading too?
Sure.
Okay, no, you don't. Awesome, cool, get out.
Oh. Well, I mean, now that you mention it, I do have a question.
What is your question?
Just, do I have to explain what's going on, or kind of just ask?
Answer unclear. Shake again and try again later.
Flubber just walks away. Okay, never mind.
Seth leaves. He doesn't want to be in the set anymore. He stayed because Kat was there, but now he's like, eh.
Thank you for your time. Enjoy your time.
It was nice to meet you, Katrina. And Helga and Soot.
Shit reading!
Was it though?
I hear it muffled from outside.
Shut up and just walk out.
Yes, yes, well, it's shit reading.
Shit reading.
Sweet
Shit
mother.
Reading.
Shit reading.
As you, Katrina, as you leave, you hear the sound of something being uncorked, thunk, and the sound of copious drinking.
Poor Brenda, she doesn't deserve this.
I think it was Brenda.
It was Brenda.
Oof.
Brenda the dwarf, the first NPC I've made up on the fly in a long time.
Jesus.
I love her. She was great.
Well, as you guys... oh, shit. So, as you guys step out into the bright, starting to be early afternoon of the marketplace, you can see that people have kind of started to spread out a bit. There's kind of this big empty space kind of in the center. There's a giant, there's just a big smear of mud across one side. There's a bunch of boxes stacked that somebody probably forgot to move. But it looks like there's a bunch of people gathering. And you can just see on the opposite side of you what looks to be about, I don't know, a large group of people who are kind of standing in a rather menacing manner. Helga doesn't like to give out personal you can see all of them are wearing what appears to be draconic masks, and all of them are carrying these curved hooked swords. And as you see this, you look out to the left and behind you, and you can see what looks to be a small group, like maybe 5 people in almost, it looks almost like the paladin armor, but it's kind of older, a little more ramshackle put together. And as you're kind of standing there, you realize the crowd is backed up even further, and the 3 of you are standing out in the middle between these 2 groups as they charge and start screaming battle cries.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
And that's where we're going to end our episode.
Whoa.
Yeet.
Right in the middle of a charge.
Right in the middle of a charge. I would have had us do it, but we had so many technical issues that we just kind of ran out of time.
Yeah.
Um...
Remember, Helga loves you.
Yes, Helga loves you.
Soot thinks all of your readings are shit, and Katrina wants to steal your balls. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
Have a good night.
Yes. Please make sure that you either subscribe or follow us on Twitch so you can know about our next stream. Make sure that you check out the VOD on YouTube, which will be going up hopefully next Friday. We will be streaming again the next Friday after that. That is going to be the 17th, I believe. And, just all of you, just keep being awesome.
Next Friday? So, not next Friday?
7th?
No, it's the 7th.
7th, not the 17th.
It's the
7th.
I know that because it's the last day of school.
Oh, okay.
I'm a teacher, friends.
Oh.
I'm not a baby.
7th.
I had a thing to say at the end. I had a whole ending card, and I don't know where it is.
We'll give you a break this time. We just moved.
That's true.
Yeah, so guys, thank you everyone for watching. Remember to subscribe and check out our Patreon, where you can support me and the show by proxy. Remember, if you tweet with the hashtag Dicey Decisions, you can potentially be entered into a drawing to help me open our next episode, because I'm going to be trying to change it up every single time. Have a good one. Be safe. Share some love. And tell a story.
Or me on Facebook. Just kidding.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.